Hi everyone. Today we're going to be talking about the difference between your soul and your ego. We're going to talk about the ego first. Typically, your ego makes decisions from the head, uh, very analytical, wants to control outcomes, wants to have validation from people. Typically, when you're acting from the ego, you'll feel a sense of tightness on your chest. You internally know that something is not 100% right. You can sense something's different. Typically, the ego makes decisions from childhood wounding, either from your parents, from your mom, from your dad, even from your siblings, from your sisters, your brothers. Uh, Outcomes that were not very pleasant in your life, something scare you, someone told you a story. Typically your ego is there to protect you. Ego is not necessarily a bad thing. Having an ego is a good thing because ego is there to protect us. Typically, when something is going to happen to you that is not good for you, something that's not it's not going to be a good outcome for you, or somebody's maybe mistreating you or taking advantage of you, ego usually kicks in and helps you build barriers or boundaries, right? That sometimes you need to do because sometimes people will take advantage of you. So ego, most people say, when you're acting from the ego, that's not a good thing. And I can tell you today that not necessarily, right? Ego is also needed. You need that for survival in the world. The problem is when you go through life and you let the ego drive your life, you let the ego manage every outcome in your life, right? And most of us have that problem. We all go through life and we let ego kind of drive our daily basis, everything that we do. A lot of times we do it from ego. We get into an argument with our family members, the people we love, your partner, and a lot of times you want to win the argument. You want to go ahead and be the best that you can possibly be at work. All those things are decisions made by the ego. So one of the things that I want you guys to think about is every time you're acting from ego, sometimes those things come from programming, something that happened in your childhood. Um, every time you're acting out of jealousy, envy, anger, anything that's negative that carries low vibration, if you're acting this way and you're able to recognize that, you're acting from the ego. The ego usually makes decisions very analytical. It wants to control, it wants to have an outcome that says, am I winning? Do I look good? That's typically your ego, right? So think about that. Every time the ego is driving your life, chances are you're going to have outcomes that are not going to be very successful for you. The ego should be there to protect you. Someone's taking advantage of you, your ego should come up and make boundaries, put boundaries between you and those people that are, maybe taking advantage of you or saying things that are hurtful. So you use the ego to go and tell those people, hey, this is not acceptable. I'm not going to accept these things. That's okay. That's a good thing to do. That's why the ego is there. So the ego is not something that you want to suppress. It's something that you want to be aware of when it's in control and when it's not in control. So typically you don't want the ego to drive your life. Now let's talk about the soul. The soul makes decisions from the heart. So head over heart, right? So whenever sometimes you have a hard time making a decision, and that's your ego telling you, no, don't do it this way. No, that is not fair, or whatever the outcome may be. Or if you do it this way, they're gonna make fun of you, or they're controlling you. That's your ego talking. Every time your soul comes into place, that's typically divine connection. That's when you're connected to the divine. Your soul is pure. Typically, most people see the soul as the spirit that lives within us. Your soul, your spirit, same thing. So every time you make a decision from the heart, that is coming from your soul, that is coming from a divine place in your life. That is you connecting to the divine. That is you connecting to the source, connecting to a higher power. And that is probably the biggest thing you're gonna hear in my channel. We're gonna be talking about how to connect to your higher self, how to connect to your soul, how to understand your soul. I think it's critical for us to understand that whenever you drive your life through the soul, making decisions from yourself, from your inner self, you're gonna have abundance in your life. You're gonna have a better life right off the bat. Just on the fact that you are connecting to a higher power and you're making decisions from the heart. Everything that comes from the heart is typically made out of love, right? This is our rule number one in the world. Love each other. If you look it up on the Bible, Jesus said, we're here to love each other. The most important thing we have in our world is love. There's nothing more valuable than love. Gold is not more valuable than love, nor gold, silver, diamonds, nothing. Nothing in this world is worth more than love. Now, some of you will probably disagree, and that's your ego talking. Whenever you disagree that, yeah, I don't need love in my life. Everything that exists, it's here because of love. The sun rises every day because of love. You have air that goes into your lungs and fills you up with life every day. That's made with love. Creation itself is love. So there's nothing more important in this world than to love each other. So it's critical that we understand that. The soul will always make decisions out of love. Whenever you have an argument and want to have a fight with your partner, your family members, whoever, if you automatically go back and connect to your soul and your inner self, you're already connected to the divine automatically. You have that power to be able to connect to the divine automatically, on the spot. What you can do is just think about, what will my soul do? What is the right thing to do? The soul asks different questions. The ego says, do I look good? Am I winning? The soul says, is this fair? Is this truth? Is this just? Completely different parameters, right? One is from the negative side, low vibration. The other one is high vibration. And let me tell you, if you're gonna make any changes in your life, one of the changes that you wanna do is you wanna make sure that you're living in a high vibration on a daily basis. Keep your vibration high every single day. Whenever you have high vibration every single day, that's you connecting to your soul. Whenever you're able to connect to your soul, you're living on a high vibration. And high vibration gives you emotions that are super powerful. Gives you empathy, love, always want to take care of one another, take care of your family, take care of anybody out on the streets. You see somebody suffering, you see somebody running under the rain, you want to go give them something to cover themselves. That's your soul. That's when you're acting from the soul. The soul makes you feel good. You feel at peace. You feel a sense of peace in your life that you just cannot believe. And when you're able to connect to that, the universe gives you everything that you want. It's amazing when you're able to make that connection to your soul. When you have that inner peace, then everything else kind of just falls into place in your life. When you feel great, you're able to do more in life. You're able to do greater things. Then you believe, you have faith that you can do all the things you want to do. So next time that you are going down the street, you're coming home, whatever the case may be, you wake up in the morning, ask yourself, who's driving my life today? Is my ego driving my life today? Or is my soul taking me down the path that I'm supposed to be? Understand the difference between one and the other. But the biggest thing you need to do is understand what your spirit is, what your soul is. When you're able to connect to the soul, things change, life gets better. I hope that this message brings you a little bit of clarity, and you resonate with this message. If you do, please subscribe. I want to continue to do this type of content, and the more you share this message, the more people subscribe to my channel, the more this gets out, and I want people out there to understand this. And there's a lot of people out there that want to understand, why are we here for? What's the purpose of life? And you connecting to your soul, connecting to your inner self, that's what's going to drive you to the next level. That's what's going to help you understand how to manifest in your life, how to connect to the divine. It will help you understand how powerful you are. So subscribe. To all the chosen ones out there, talk to you soon.